Alright, hello everyone, and now welcome to game number 2 in the series between WFZ and TH000. Game 2 taking place here on Echo Isle. Gonna go ahead and head over to the 2-minute mark to get this game underway. As we see TH000 spawning as the red human on the top right, WFZ spawning as the blue undead on the top left. Alright, 2-minute mark has been reached as the Archmage quickly goes after the green creep camp at the 3 o'clock location. Interesting choice on the creep pattern, as the Archmage really could have tried to militia creep out this mercenary camp down over here. But you can see that there's already an Acolyte in position, and the Acolyte is actually trying to make a little bit of a play, as the Acolyte is actually hiding down over here. Alright, Acolyte now going after the Water Elemental, does not get the kill there. That would have been absolutely hilarious if the Water Elemental did give a lot of experience, as the Archmage and the Death Knight are now going blow to blow. Footmen and Militia are out on the field. Arcane Tower is already up this time around, up much sooner than in the previous game, and with that, the Skeletal Minions will not be able to harass. Archmage doing a good job keeping that Death Knight at bay. Meanwhile, the Death Knight is trying to figure out when this expansion will come into play. Echo Isle is one of those maps that only has 2 additional gold mines than the starting locations, and because of that, the game can turn into a bit of a economic game if the game does end up going long. That would end up giving the advantage to the undead. Meanwhile, you can see that the Archmage here is actually creeping out and doing a great job just trying to make sure that he stays up on experience. Alright, so far the Death Knight still staying up on alive. There gets a Death Coil again, I believe, on a Footman there, and so far has gotten a good amount of experience, even though he has taken a fair bit of damage. Archmage picks up a Pendant of Energy for his troubles, as the Death Knight now runs off to the north, perhaps to try and look for some additional skeletons, but has not found any. Alright, Skeletal Minions are now back up on the field. Not quite sure why the animation is a little bit choppy there, as the Archmage now looking to clear out the Ogre Magi creep camp. Alright, it looks like a Troll Shadow Priest could get taken down very easily. Not before an Abolish Magic goes down, though, as the Troll Shadow Priest could just get Death Coiled. Oh, Death Coiled onto that minion instead, as the Death Knight now trying to go after the Troll Shadow Priest, unable to do so, and is now very far behind. Death Knight now sitting at 24 over 40 supply. Let's take a look at this. Crypt Fiends are now coming down. Ghouls are now coming down as well. And does this mean that the Death Knight is actually trying to do a little bit of creeping himself? Halls of the Dead has already been completed, and if the Death Knight wants to try and creep out this orange creep camp, that wouldn't be too big of a surprise. What would be a big surprise, though, is if he tries to set up an expansion. Most of the time, Undead players do not feel that it is very safe for them to set up an expansion, as the Death Knight himself gets to level 2. Alright, Ghoul now trying to back off there, will be able to get back without a problem. Death Knight does have Unholy Aura for a bit of faster regen. There's a Death Coil onto that Ghoul to make sure that that Ghoul does not fall. Troll Trappers do deal a fair bit of damage. 28 to 37 on the Troll Berserker. I don't know what the Troll Trapper does. I don't remember all of those stats there. Alright, Archmage sitting at level 3 with plenty of mana, 307 mana and counting, as the Archmage now going after a Ghoul. The Ghoul does get taken down, so a little bit of a lucky break by TH000, catching his opponent off guard. Most of the time, human players do not go over there to try and stop their opponent. They just are really concentrated and focused on their own side of the map. Death Knight sitting at level 2, a little bit more than halfway to level 3, as we are looking at the expansion already coming in from TH000. Death Knight now going into a bit of an engagement here. You can see those Footmen are all in position. Are we going to regenerate a little bit of hit points back on Blight? Yes, we are. Meanwhile, we already have the Lich on the field. There it is. And the Lich is the one with the Claws of Attack +6. Very interesting choice, as the Lich does have that range attack. And I guess in terms of overall increase, that is the better one there. Lich sitting at level 1 now does get a little bit of experience off of a Frost Nova. Death Coil onto a Troll Shadow Priest, and those Troll Shadow Priests pretty much are not going to be long for life. Death Knight now making their way back down over here to the left. We are going to see a bit of an engagement. Water Elemental now trying to make its way in as an Obsidian statue has now joined in on the fight. All right, Death Knight can easily get in some easy damage there. There goes another Troll Shadow Priest as the Death Knight has done a great job just really picking apart the human army. Human army does not have much of an option right now except for trying to rush inside here. You can see that there is that Cold Tower and Halls of the Dead. That Footman is taking a fair bit of damage, and that Footman may end up getting taken down at the hands of a Death Knight again. One more or two more hits should do it, and it looks like, yes, the Death Coil just going to be used. Get a little bit of that experience as we do see Obsidian statues regenerating mana for those heroes once more. Footmen now making their way down. Archmage is down over here as well. What is going to be happening? Skeletal Minion quickly focused down there as it runs through the mist and majority of the human army. Death Knight and Lich looks like they are ready to go into a bit of an engagement. Meanwhile, the Lich does have a fair bit of mana, and this could actually be a big play here as the Death Knight now trying to finish off this one troll. There it goes. Level 3 on the Death Knight. Level 2 Death Coil as the Crypt Fiends are now looking to back up. Oh, there is the defend on the Footman there. You can see the defend is really taking its toll. Some of them have defend, some of them do not, as the lower hit point Crypt Fiends are now backing off. Those Crypt Fiends with defend, though, do move significantly slower, and with that, they're not going to be able to run away. The Lich, is it going to be able to get some more damage off onto those units? No additional Frost Novas. I would have suspected a Frost Nova onto those Footmen, as the Footmen would have then been slow enough to pick off. All right. Acolyte already haunting this gold mine on the bottom left-hand side. Interesting choice there, as the Undead now going to be catching up in terms of the economic game. Town Hall, we can take a look at things off over here. 41/48 supply. Low hit point Crypt Fiend now being forced to back off again. Lower hit point Footman. Is it going to get taken down? It looks like yes, it will. And now the Crypt Fiends are actually really owning this fight. All right, low hit point Crypt Fiend now trying to get away. It looks like it will be able to do exactly that. Rejoin back in the fight, except for there's now a round of mercenaries joining in as well. Ogre Maulers deal a lot of damage to these poor Crypt Fiends, as the Crypt Fiends are now looking to back off. All right, let's take a look at it back over here. The Ogre Mauler really can't decide whether or not it wants to come or go. It is just taking damage, already down to 527 hit points and falling. All right, are we going to see another shot onto the Water Elementals there? It looks like we could see more damage come in onto that Water Elemental. Oh my gosh, just take it down. There it goes, more experience given, and now the Undead is actually in a very strong position, equal in terms of first heroes, and the secondary hero has not even reached the floor yet by Tho. Tho has not even begun to train it, as we're looking at the Ogre Mauler now trying to slip away. Ogre Mauler taking a fair bit of damage, down to 208. One more shot and a Death Coil should do it, and yes, there it goes, the Death Knight. Now a hop, skip, and a jump away from level 4. Human, on the other hand, now looking to pressure inside the main base. Black Citadel, Water Elemental could be dropped inside here at any moment. There are Acolytes here as well, and there you see the cancellation of the tech to Black Citadel, as all the Acolytes will be forced to run away. All right, let's take a look at this. Oh, Staff of Teleportation. Those poor units are just going to be left to die here, as we now see a engagement down over here on the bottom left. All right, Acolytes may be forced to try and unsummon this base, or yes, cancel that Ziggurat there, as the Acolytes now once more come back in. Undead looking extremely strong. Human now trying to run away, as the Archmage and the Panda are looking to be a very strong 1-2 punch. All right. Lich is now doing a bit of scouting. Death Knight sitting at level, I believe, level 4 now. Level 4 Death Knight, very strong with level 2 Unholy Aura. You can see that the Black, or the Necropolis, is nearing completion. Meanwhile, the Acolytes are now coming inside here. There is a Breath of Fire that you couldn't really see, but it did pretty much hit all of the Acolytes there. All the units are now looking to back away again. It looks like that Acolyte will get taken down. There it goes. There goes another Acolyte. 2 Acolytes down, or 3 Acolytes down. 2 more to go, as we need to see more and more being trained. Oh, what is that? That was a horrible Water Elemental getting the water elemental on the wrong side of the forest there. That is actually going to really cost him as, oh wait, no, he did get a little bit of experience off of that acolyte. That was a bit of a lucky break as we are looking at this haunted gold mine. Haunted gold mine and ziggurats just trying to get up a little bit of base defense. Archmage still with plenty of mana. Meanwhile, Undead with mana and heroes galore. Level 3 pretty much on that Lich, or should be after this creep camp. Yes, Wand of Lightning Shield, Tome of Intelligence, as the Death Knight, now sitting at about 4 1/3, will be forced to back off. Staff of Teleportation now comes in. Lich now arrives to the party extremely early. Lich now sitting at level 3. How much damage can these guys do? As, oh, a Frost Nova Death Coil comes in, and oh, the Archmage escapes at 35 hit points. A very lucky break there, as the Panda has once more reached his way onto the field. Archmage needs to heal up and in a hurry. Down to 55 hit points. You can see Knights have been added already, so the Knights will be countering these Crypt Fiends extremely easily, and we haven't seen any sort of real telling as to whether or not we're going to be going into Destroyers. Destroyers really the unit that Undead needs to handle Knights, as Crypt Fiends just melt away to those Knights. Lich sitting at level 3, Death Knight sitting at level 4, clearing out this creep camp. Pretty much almost all of the major creep camps have been taken out. Some of the minor or less used creep camps are pretty much straight down the middle here and here if you're looking on the mini-map. But the Undead still doing a good job keeping their units alive. All right, let's take a look at things over here. Paladin, full trifecta, except with a paladin or with a panda instead of a mountain king, as the units are now marching across the field. Archmage getting into position down over here. Siege engines now coming in. Siege engines, perhaps the most annoying unit in the human arsenal, as the siege engine pretty much just says, I'm going to try to beat you in a war of attrition. How are you going to handle it? As the siege engine does have -5 armor, but with that very important fortified armor, it is extremely difficult to take out by Crypt Fiends and heroes alone. Panda comes in with a Breath of Fire, finishes off that Tomb of Relics. Now going after the Altar of Darkness. We're seeing that 55/90 supply compared to 74/90. No question who's in the lead here, but can the Archmage and the Death Knight make a bit of magic happen? All right, let's take a look at this Death Coil onto the Paladin. Paladin taking a lot of damage. It looks like Paladin end up getting taken down. There it goes. And now the Paladin falls at level 1. Panda sitting at level 2. And is the Death Knight going to be able to get it? Yes, it does. Death Knight now sitting at level 5. And what was a surefire easy victory for human moments ago has now completely turned into, wait, no, a missed Death Coil, a missed level 3 Death Coil could be the difference between victory and defeat there, as the Death Knight was unable to save a Crypt Fiend. That one Crypt Fiend will have grave ramifications, especially since that mana has already been lost. If there's ever a time where the Undead player wants more mana or wishes he had more units, he'll reflect back on that moment when the Death Coil was just a day late and $1 short. The Knights now making their rounds, looking to perhaps put pressure inside the main natural expansion again. There is a Tomb of Relics in the way, but I don't believe that the Tomb of Relics is really going to stop all of these Knights. A lot of Knights in position here. Lich now trying to make its way over. There it is. The Lich has arrived to the party, and no Frost Nova, as I saw, to prevent any of the units from really running away. The Crypt Fiends getting in a little bit of easy shots on those units as they flee, and yes, there they go. All right, Lich now coming back in. There's a Death Coil onto a Mortar Team. 300 hit point Death Coil quickly takes it down. Meanwhile, we're looking at the Lich getting back up to pretty much full hit points and also sitting almost at level 4. 4 experience away from getting to level 4. Siege Engine now attempting to take down the Slaughterhouse. That is not going to work. But the Siege Engine is still getting chased away here. The Siege Engine dealing, what, 40 or 56 damage on average, and still has a base of 1 armor. 1 fortified armor. Cryptfiends now turning around here. Are we gonna see a bit of an army come together? There is the there is a Frost Nova onto the siege engine. Lich now sitting at level 4. Paladin now sitting at level 2 as we're still doing a little bit of chasing. Cryptfiend now gets healed as the knights are now in a bit of trouble. Are they going to get taken down? Yes, they are, as another knight bites the dust. Knight after knight getting taken out. No, Staff of Sanctuary finally comes into play. But that does mean that we are still on a bit of cooldown. Alright, Destroyer needs to devour magic in order to stay alive from that water elemental. As the water elemental now trying to pull back here. Alright, Death Knight able to get in a little bit of extra damage. Meanwhile, Destroyer, is it going to absorb mana? No, it is not. Does not devour magic in order to just have much more mana and then make a bit of a play later. 76 over 90 supply. Meanwhile, 64 over 90. Undead has, what, 1,200 gold in the bank. That is a rather large amount. Meanwhile, the human player only has 250 gold in the bank. That is still a good amount, but you also got to remember that with the only real difference right now is in terms of the food. The supply is the real telltale difference. It would be rather easy for the Undead to just go into the 775 to 80 range with the amount of gold that he's currently sitting on. Alright. Flying machines now still flying overhead. Let's meanwhile back over here. Lich now turning around the corner. Are we going to see perhaps a level 1 panda being joined into the fight to try and counteract all of those footmen and those mortar teams? Siege engine trying to take down a slaughterhouse. It looks like it will be able to do exactly that. No, not able to do that. This siege engine now trying to make its way over, and the slaughterhouse is going to take a fair bit of damage before it runs away. No, it does not even take up any damage. The siege engine unable to attack through, and the Death Knight still getting pretty much free experience at the hands of his opponent. Mortar teams now sitting in the center waiting for the attack. Meanwhile, back over here, Lich is trying to engage to try and finish up the Renegade Wizard and that Kobold Geomancer. Both of those units should fall pretty easily, especially with that Orb of Corruption causing an additional 27% damage to be dealt. Alright, Cryptfiends come in with a quick bunch of webs. Mortar teams are now in as well. Are we going to perhaps see some Breath of Fire? And that is really the only thing that the human player has to worry about. Breath of Fire could deal so much damage to all of these poor units, as the mortar teams are just absolutely demolishing all of these obsidian statues. The obsidian statues now desperately running for life again, as we can see another death coil saving a Cryptfiend there. Alright, let's take a look. Flying machines overhead taking down another air unit, and this is not looking good at all. But we still got plenty of time left for any side to really make a big play. Cryptfiends now trying to back off here. It looks like the flying machines, yes, do have orbital bombardment now. And will it be able to attack ground? Albeit not efficiently, but anytime your anti-air unit can also do something on the ground, that is extremely good news. Alright. Flying machines looking to take down the necropolis. Meanwhile, back over here, guard towers and cannon towers are being constructed. If you remember, cannon towers do have a very long range, and this is going to be putting a little bit of pressure on the Undead army. WFZ needs to figure out a way to make this happen. Meanwhile, the Death Knight and the Lich and the Panda looking to make things happen as well. Both sides suffering a lot of losses. As are we going to see another Breath of Fire? No, we are not, as we still don't have enough mana. Panda sitting at level 2. All the units are now backing away. Flying machine trying to chase after the obsidian statue. Looks like it will be able to do exactly that. Meanwhile, more and more units are continuing to attack here. Flying machine at -5 armor, as the Lich really needs to figure out what unit it's attacking so all the other units can get the bonus damage from that Orb of Corruption. Alright, flying machine coming back around. Death Knight finally using a potion of invulnerability, as it did not like the story it was seeing unfold, and decides to head back home. Panda comes in. Is it going to see a Breath of Fire? Yes, there we go. There is a big Breath of Fire. Meanwhile, Panda looking to pull back. Obsidian statue is very, very low on hit points. And this is just really bad news again. Low on hit points, decent amount of mana. But what it can really be done here, as we can see a lot of repairing coming in by Thos and all of his peasants. Death Knight's now making a big push inside here. Necropolis looks like it will get taken down. There it goes. So it now looks like all of the Acolytes are pretty much trying to scrounge up every single bit of experience and gold that it can. 6,400 gold left compared to 2,600. That is about what? That is like less than 5 minutes in terms of experience, or in terms of gold, before all the gold mines do run out. All right, destroyers are up in the air. Destroyers going up against flying machines. However, the flying machines don't have one thing that the Undead army does, and that is Death Coil to try and heal those units. And as I say that, the Death Knight decided to not save that poor destroyer. All right, destroyer now down to 477 hit points. All the units are now running back again, and we are looking at another Death Coil raining down onto the Knights back over here. All right, Death Knight coming back down. We're seeing at 70. Well, wow, a lot of mana now. After a potion of mana and a potion of healing, Death Knight may try and use level 3 Unholy Aura here in just a second, or even Animate Dead. Both of those would be extremely strong considering the Knights that are out on the field. Abomination staying alive ever so barely. Meanwhile, destroyers are actually getting webbed down as well. This is not very good news at all, as the destroyer may need to land here in just a second. There it goes. There goes some flying machines, as we are looking at the destroyer trying to finish up a lot of the units on the ground. All right, destroyers do deal bonus damage against those heavy armor, as we mentioned, but that is still not going to be enough, as the water elementals are now taken out slowly but surely. All right, we see one water elemental left. Acolytes are desperately trying to repair this one Altar of Darkness, and the Altar of Darkness is almost at level, or almost resurrected that Panda right now. As you can see that the Paladin is still down over here to try and make a bit of a play. All right, do we have a Staff of Preservation on this Panda? No, we do not. He is just hiding in plain sight, as the destroyers are now getting destroyed by those gyrocopters. All right. Paladin now running all the way back here. You can see that there are the cowers here causing so many problems and issues for WFZ. WFZ, however, still remaining calm, cool, and poised, doing a really good job fending off this attack. So far, though, you can see that this is just a relentless beatdown inside the main base, as the main gold mines have already been mined out. So far, about 5,000 gold left here. So I would guesstimate that at about 8 minutes before we are pretty much out of gold in these gold mines anywhere. All right, let's take a look back over here. You can see repairs now coming underway. 1 cannon tower, 2 guard towers, and 2 arcane towers will be more than enough, as the Archmage is now running back to try and head back home with the rest of his knights and that Panda. All right, it looks like the Death Knight doesn't want that Archmage to get away without spending some sort of resource, and yes, a Scroll of Town Portal is a one-time resource that is extremely, extremely useful. All right, Knights are in position. Meanwhile, Crypt Fiends are in the backfield here, I believe. No Crypt Fiends whatsoever. Wow, a bit of a surprise there. No Crypt Fiends, as that's pretty much been the bread and butter unit of WFZ, at least through this game, or in the previous games that I've cast as well. 47 over 70. Water Elemental may try to test the waters, may aggro all of the creeps. Meanwhile, the Knights are now making their way over quickly, taking on one building, taking down another here in just a second, as all the units are now trying to back off to try and regroup and recover. All right, so far the destroyers are just destroying the air now, able to do exactly what they're looking to do, as the Brewmaster falls at level 2. Undead looking like he's in a bit of trouble, but the Brewmaster of level 3 red has fallen as well. All right, let's take a look back over here. There goes another flying machine. Water Elemental is down over here, quickly going to get finished off. You can take a look. Just a lot of damage coming in. There is some more and more units just coming up out of the woodwork here, but the human player is not giving up whatsoever. He is using every little bit of defense available to him and doing it well. Meanwhile, the Lich is now running back off to the north. Lich has gotten up to level 6 as the Paladin has fallen at level 5, as the Paladin tried to do a really big push in here as well. So far, you can see the Lich is at level 6. Death Knight is at level 6. And is that Death Knight going to be able to head back home, or at least scroll or heal just a little bit? And it looks like, yes, he was able to do exactly that. Even though the Panda is now still out of commission, the Death Knight is extremely strong here. And now what is going on? Another flying machine has been taken out. All right, Death Knight now looking to clear up this creep camp. It looks like another Water Elemental will get taken down. There goes another Ultra of Darkness, as the damage is really starting to take its toll. But you got to remember that there's no mining going on whatsoever for the red side. All right, red now being forced to bring over his peasants to try and make something happen and make a bit of a play. All right, so you can take a look at this here. All of these peasants are ready to go, ready to join in on the fight, as the Griffin now was taken out. All right, there's a bit of a play there. You can see that the cannon tower is there in addition to the guard towers. They're trying to, I guess, mark out where exactly they can be. And we can see that the Archmage just ventures in a little bit too far right beyond this green dot here, now being forced to return back, as the Water Elementals and the rest of the units, peasants and knights, have finally joined in on the fight. Obsidian Statue still doing a bit of healing. All of a sudden, things are looking very interesting. Obsidian Statue now going to get taken down as the Archmage reaches level 6. And a level 6 Archmage is just so difficult to slow down because of because of Mass Teleport. Mass Teleport, that ability to just move around your army at a moment's notice. And now what happened here? Oh, Death Knight with a quick potion of mana saves the Lich. And now what is it going to be happening next? Death Knight needs to really heal back up. And is he going to be backed up into a bit of a corner? Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, as the Lich is acting a bit of a bodyguard for that Death Knight. Death Knight now down to 152 hit points. Needs to really time his location and try and figure out where exactly he's going to be striking next. Striking into this position, not going to be a good idea. Meanwhile, the Lich, though, is so strong. With that level 6 Lich, we could have Dark Rituals here, as the Destroyer... Yes, the Destroyer looks like it will get taken down. Level 7 now on the Death Knight. Level 3 Unholy Aura. Death Coil onto the Panda. Panda may end up getting taken down. No, not taken down either, as we are still looking at more and more peasants to fall. More and more peasants to fall. Death Knight at level 7. Lich is at level 6, almost level 7. Could have gotten to level 7 if he really wanted to. Water Elemental may actually... No, could it give? It could give, but I don't think it will. Yeah, not quite. Yeah, not quite at all. 13 experience shy. And you can see now the peons are walking that walk of shame, saying, you know what, I forgot to bring myself some gold back to my town hall, and I forgot even to build a town hall. Mercenary camp gonna go ahead and get cleared out here. Death Knight and Lich sharing some items. You can see Boots of Speed, Claws of Attack +6, and Orb of Corruption. Meanwhile, down over here, you can see that the Archmage and the Death Knight is all in position. Oh, this could be very bad. If they get caught around the corner, this is going to be extremely bad news. And yes, it looks like they are caught exactly there, as the Death Knight gets an easy kill on the Archmage. Archmage falls at level 6. And that might be the game, folks. This could be the beginning of the end. A little bit of a lucky break, catching his opponent's unit or hero so far out in the field that it had no real way of trying to be recovered. All right, Death Knight sitting at 7, Lich sitting at 7. Meanwhile, Panda and Paladin sitting at 3 and 5 respectively, or yeah, 3 and 5 respectively. That is very, very nice, but at the same time, what is the follow-up play? Death Knight still sitting on rather low supply, I believe. 28 over 30 supply against 39 over 90. That is a huge supply, considering that on the bottom left there was for a time a lot of acolytes for a lot of acolytes there for repairs. All right, let's take a look at this. Knight is taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Paladin is taking a fair bit of damage as well. Paladin is sitting at level 5. All right, Destroyers make their way over, and now are we gonna perhaps see the Panda getting taken down? The Panda trying to get away, but the Undead does have 300 hit points on top of him. As the what happened to the where'd he go? Death Knight now getting in a little bit of chase on, trying to go after that Paladin. Paladin finally gets taken out, and now the Death Knight is now to wander the fields again. All right, it looks like he's going to be able to get in a little bit more, continue that pressure. The Death Knight is still doing a great job here, taking out unit after unit after unit, and now finally looking to back away. Destroyers now looking to take down the Arcane Vault. We're sitting at 27 over 90 supply now, compared to 27 over 90 compared to, it can't be 27. Oh wow, both of them have, 27 over 90 against is it really 27 over 90 versus 27 over 90? That would seem rather strange, but that is exactly what we have here. Both sides are even in terms of economy. All right, Undead now getting pressured inside his base. You can see that there is a Spirit Tower right there. That Spirit Tower gonna take a lot of damage. Mass teleport, quickly already teleporting that Archmage away, as he really wants to be able to keep this Archmage alive and then constantly harass where you wouldn't naturally expect it. 27 over 90. And still no real sign of the end game to come, except for the fact that what you see is what you get. There are no more heroes, no more units. Perhaps maybe a little bit of experience and then mana will be able to get you through this, but I'm not 100% sure. As you can see, the cannon tower really looking to try and clean things up. Back over here, you can see a Shade now catching sight of the Panda. Panda is sitting at level 3 with a level 2 Breath of Fire and may end up running. Wait, no, does not run into the Death Knight, but sees him and turns around. But this could just be another rookie mistake by that Panda to go out in midfield as the weakest of 3 heroes and still try and figure out how to stay alive. Not a very, very good call there whatsoever. Let's take a look back over here. You can see Militia are now being brought over. Militia want to do some long distance gold mining here in order to get some gold. The timing is going to be rather odd, as you can see that the acolytes are all, or the peasants are all right here, and they have yet to go inside. All right, let's take a look. Back over here, you can see that the Lich is now making its way in. Lich does have enough mana for Death and Decay, but I don't believe he will actually be casting it. If he does, this section right here is just ripe for the picking for Death and Decay, as it would hit a lot of buildings at once. 20 over 90 supply compared to 28 over 30. Undead still, but playing strong, so to speak. Oh, mass teleport as the way to harvest gold. All right, so you get all of your units next together, you have them whole gold, and then you just quickly mass teleport all the way back in order to get even more gold. So interesting strategy there. We'll see if that really works. As an acolyte, oh my goodness, so many dead units, so many dead acolytes. And what is going to be happening? All right, down over here, they're going to try and do that again, rinse and repeat. But do they have enough mana? That Archmage at 104, yes, should have enough mana now. I forget how much the Archmage does regenerate mana. And now there you have it, a little bit of extra damage. Those Destroyers now trying to get away. And oh, some of them were too far out. That was huge. Some of them were just too far out there. And now the Death Knight is going to be able to get some easy experience onto these units, since these units are now pretty much going unhindered. All right, Lich sitting at level 7, level 8 now on the Death Knight. Death Knight looking very strong at this point, as all we can really hope to see is another caravan walk, if that is what exactly, well, if that's exactly what they want to do in order to get more gold. Cannon Tower taking a lot of damage. Gonna go up against the Lich. Lich has taken a fair bit of damage, but I think the Lich is more than safe. The Cannon Tower will fall. And that once again gives the overall advantage to Undead. Undead sitting at 28 over 30. Meanwhile, Human sitting at 15 over 90. Not going to be that much there, as the Spirit Towers are now trying to push back that Water Elemental. All right, let's take a look at this. Yes, the Lich still sitting at level 7, unable to finish the job that time. But this is going to be more than enough of a task force, since the opponent, WFZ, since Tho is not really building anything at this point. All right, 16 gold, 3,100 lumber. Meanwhile, down over here on the bottom left, we have 90 gold, 1698 lumber, 28 supply against 13 supply. Yeah, that is a very, very telltale difference now, as the Archmage looking to regroup with the rest of the units. Lich turns around, almost got a Frost Nova. Yes, does get a Frost Nova on the Archmage. And with that, the Water Elemental is trying, or the Archmage is now trying to get away. Is it going to work, though? Let's take a look. There is another Frost Nova plus an auto attack, and that is the game. WFZ takes game number 2. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.